There are many forms of addiction to substances like drugs, alcohol, nicotine, and even chocolate and coffee. There are also behavioural addictions like work, gambling, and shopping. A recent addition to these is an addiction to technology. The statistics surrounding technology and its use are staggering. The world population is currently around 7.7 billion. 4.4 billion of us use the internet. 3.5 billion of us use social media. And over 5 billion of us have a mobile phone. And there are huge profits to be made too. According to recent reports, the video game industry is worth around $140 billion worldwide, and that figure is rising. There are estimated to be over 2.5 billion video gamers globally, with the highest number in the Asia-Pacific area. In the UK, there are an estimated 37.3 million players. With those numbers, it is no surprise that both social media platforms and video games have the potential for addiction.
I think social media and games have built into them what are sometimes called mechanics or games mechanics that provide you with rewards, and they're very carefully orchestrated to be sort of random and not predictable to keep you interested. And for social media, it might be likes or followers, or someone sharing something that you find rewarding that you can then share and sort of be ahead of the curve. In games, there are all sorts of rewards, from obviously getting up to the top levels of a game, equipment that you could win, and now of course even buy within games, that are all very rewarding and increase your status in those worlds.
Many of these carefully orchestrated rewards will work on any user, regardless of their age or background. But it is younger users who are particularly susceptible to them.
I think the youngest person I've treated in terms of face-to-face work is someone of 9 years old, who was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, hiding under his bed at night to play Fortnite, running up enormous bills through purchasing equipment that the parents were oblivious to. But I've taken calls about younger children, and sometimes it is very small children who get into fits of rage or distress when they can't access an iPad or other games platform to continue playing.
This alarming rise in addictive behaviour, combined with the increased accessibility of technology, games and social media, has led many people to ask what the difference is between a keen technology user and an addict.
One of the first things I would suggest a parent does if they're concerned about their child's use is actually talk to other parents about what their children are doing. I think one of the things that often marks an addiction out from somebody who's an enthusiastic user is the fact that the enthusiastic user will know when it's time to stop. But somebody with addiction will keep going even though they know it might be getting them into some sort of difficulty. May even be as basic as tiredness, or it may be that it starts to then impact on other areas of their life. They're late for things, or not doing homework, or whatever it is.
So in cases of genuine addiction, what kinds of treatment are available?
When I started out in the early days, the main focus of treatment was something that we called a digital detox, which was about helping the young person have a break from technology so they could kind of almost wake up to the extent of their use and start to then look at their life in a wider sense at what other priorities they had.
But with the advent of the smartphone and the enormous growth in social media, use of technology became something people couldn't really take a break from, and the approach to treatment had to change.
So then we had to take a step back and think, well, what are we really needing to prioritize here? And at that point, I guess the impact on the person's health and well-being came to the fore. And we focused on sleep, because one of the first things to be disrupted would be sleep by someone gaming excessively or late into the night on social media. And we would then sort of work out a program for how much sleep they needed for that age and work backwards, giving them an hour of no screen time before they should be asleep, working out what time they needed to be up for school, and very quickly you could kind of establish a program and work towards getting a good sleep habit, and with that, of course, came better use of technology.
There are very few things we can be certain of in the future, but it is reasonable to assume that the phones in our pockets and the computers in our homes are going to get more and more powerful. So how does Dr. Graham see our relationship with technology developing in the future?
I think what we're going to see in the next few years is a growing recognition of just how frustrating technology is. I think we've been promised a great deal, and often when we engage with it, we're hopeful of getting a deeper connection with others. But actually we're wired in a way that means that being in a room with others will often afford us much more contact, much more interaction in a way that screens and voice channels as yet just can't match. And so whatever happens next, I think we will strike this balance between recognizing what technology can do for us and the fact that we still have bodies and we still have minds and they need certain things.